his name and he appears. I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry. Cause they love him in London and Paris and Tokyo, America, Scotland and Canada and Mexico. They say I believe in Joe Hendry. I believe in Joe Hendry.
For the love of God, I believe. Please don't copyright this video, Joe Hendry, or TNA, or WWE, which I don't know what you would have to do with anything, but you're naughty. What is up, you guys? Welcome to The Collective. My name is Furman, and in this video, we are going to be talking about quite possibly the best generation ever when it comes to Pokemon. That's right, we are talking about Johto. But before we get started, don't forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. All right, let's get into it. So it is pretty safe to say that I absolutely love Pokemon, but not just any generation of Pokemon. My favorite generation has always and will always be Gen 2. And it's so obvious. There's so much to love about it. I mean, it's really where Pokemon got its true start. And yes, we know that red, blue, and yellow, and even green in Japan did its job. It did its duty to cement Pokemon as an absolute juggernaut. But when it comes down to it, we all know that Gen 2 was really where it was at. Gen 2 was basically Pokemon saying, we are going to make the best sequel we possibly can. And, they just did it. And, it's not without flaws, but man, it is so easy to overlook all those flaws because of the fact that these games are just absolutely amazing. I mean, obviously we have gold, we have silver, and we have crystal. And then to make matters worse, we also have HeartGold and SoulSilver. So not only do we have quite possibly the best Pokemon games ever made, which is Gen 2, but we also have the best remakes to existence ever made. And I am absolutely going to be proving my point, okay?
You what?
But before that, a word from our sponsor, Frith Chronicles. Have you guys ever just sat there and thought, man, I wish somebody would come up with some type of combination, I wish someone would fuse Pokemon and Harry Potter and just mix it all into one. Well, if you have been wanting that, say no more, because this is exactly what this is. Nightmare Arcanus by Shami Stovall. Start your journey with Nightmare Arcanus, where a young man desperately wants to bond with a mystical creature so he can become an Arcanus and leave his tiny island home. He finds a shadowy suit of armor known as Nightmare, and the rest is history. Now, obviously, as I told you guys last time, there are audiobooks, there are special editions, and there are even ebooks. So if you have been looking for an addictive read, this is where you will find it. Now, I know I haven't had very much time to read this book, but I just finished the first chapter and I am just absolutely blown away. And it is true when they say that the first chapter, if it doesn't have you hooked, then you're probably not going to be very interested in the book itself. And I am absolutely hooked. I mean, I don't want to give it away, but you got this guy named Volk, and he is literally doing things that are unspeakable in this little island. All he wants to do is become an Arcanus and bond with a Phoenix, quite possibly one of the coolest mystical creatures out there. But because of traditions and all of these things, nobody wants him to do that. But somehow he perseveres and, he puts himself in the situation to make things happen. And that's where the first chapter ends. And I literally cannot wait to see where else this book goes. So don't forget to start the Frith Chronicles today. And the links and everything are going to be in the description. So please check it out. And a huge thank you to Shami again. Thank you so much. Back to the video. Okay, so we obviously know that there is a lot of stuff that people can complain about when it comes to Gen 2, but I truly believe that even though there was a lot of mistakes that were made, there is just so much to love about it. I mean, starting with the day and night cycle. This is actually a love and hate relationship thing that I have. Because of the fact that it has a day and night cycle, it means that these games have a battery. And batteries die, and whenever your battery dies, your save file is lost forever, unless you figure out how to do one of those things. There's people that do it online. There's plenty of YouTube videos that show you how to dump your save file, and you can just have your save file forever, and that's really smart. But honestly, that doesn't really appeal to me because most of these batteries last within 5 to 10 years, and I kind of want to start a fresh game anyways around that time. So it's not a big deal for me. But it is kind of annoying, and it sucks that is a thing that we have to deal with. But because of that, we were able to get the day and night cycle, and we got berries now that respawn every single day. So it always gives you something. It always incentivizes you to do something, to explore something else, and that's what these games are excellent at. Now there is a bit of a level spike, where it kind of just goes from being really easy to out of nowhere crazy hard. And there is a lot of balancing issues. Pokemon in its early days wasn't exactly the best when it comes to that. That's why we have like Gengar basically dominating all of Gen 1, and the same thing with the dark types in Gen 2, and metal types too. They were crazy strong. But we have a lot of these things, and they kind of make the game a little bit more fun. You don't necessarily have to use them, but they make the game more fun. Now, one of the things I definitely did not expect was eggs to be a part of this Pokemon. That was actually something that caught me off guard. I mean, the whole breeding system is just so cool, where you can literally take a male and a female Pokemon, or you can just take a male or a female or a Ditto and then make them mates, and out comes babies. Baby Pokemon. I mean, we got Pichu, we got Elekid, Magby, Igglybuff. There's so many cool tiny little baby Pokemon, and that just adds to the game. I mean, they were practically useless. They weren't really very functional, I guess. But it's just really cool to be able to do that, especially when you get some of those in Crystal. You actually get a chance to get one of those guys. They just give you a one-off freebie right there. Now, one of the things we all hate is obviously that Miltank. That was still a nightmare. Like, to this day, it is still an absolute nightmare. Although now it's a lot easier to beat because, we obviously know, we grew up and we know how types work, and, we can just bring a fighting type in there and annihilate that stupid Miltank and then just be done with it. But back then, that was, Lord have mercy. The way that Johto works, the way it's set up, it just feels like it's not too big, but it's not too small, and it kind of makes sense. Like the way that you traverse it and everything, it makes a lot of sense. And it is also open to a lot of like adventuring. Like there's so much to figure out. You can keep traveling and do all 8 gym badges and not ever return to anything and just miss out on a lot of stuff. Like you don't necessarily have to do it, but if you do choose to do it, there's so many little things that you can find. There's so many little nooks and crannies and places where items are at and special Pokemon are at, and like there's just so much to do, and they just expanded it so much more, and that's what makes this gen so freaking cool. Obviously, let's not even talk about the music. I mean, we got some straight up bangers. Like the Ice Cave theme that's one of my favorite songs, like from OG Gen 2 and the remakes too. I mean, take a listen. the music is obviously great. I mean, it's so good. I mean, come on, guys. What more can I say about it? And then obviously the biggest factor, which is one of the things that we have been dying for Pokemon to do, which is to add another region to a single game, okay? We've been asking for this since it happened in Gen 2, and that's what gave people the hope, and it never happened again, and it's really unfortunate, but this is where it happened. Now, I will say, Gen 2's version of Kanto is slightly, anemic. It is there's just not really much to do there, but despite that fact, it is still really cool, the fact that you are actually able to do that. I mean, that's absolutely amazing. No other generation has been able to do this. None. And clearly, the infamous battle with Red. I mean, that is as iconic as it gets when it comes to Pokemon, okay? That is the best of the best, will forever be the best, and I mean, come on, guys, you can't beat that. And remember, all of this stuff I'm talking about is just the original games. Oh, and let's not forget the fact that they, added moving sprites for Pokemon Crystal, which was another thing that was revolutionary for its time. Now let's talk about the remakes. The remakes just took everything to the next level. I was already mesmerized. I mean, I couldn't believe how absolutely gorgeous Pokemon Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum were. But to make matters even better, they were like, hey, we're going to take that same thing and we're going to make them look even better. And that's exactly what they did. Everything about HeartGold and SoulSilver is literal perfection, okay? It is absolutely amazing. The only thing I don't like is probably the fact that they did, they had the new female character instead of like Chris. I don't know why they did that. I thought Chris was pretty cool, but whatever. There is just so much in this game. So much. You guys remember these little things right here? The Pokewalkers? Man, just holding this is just so amazing. I mean, it just brings me back to when we were able to buy these games, and I would walk with this everywhere. I would take this thing everywhere I could. And yeah, it was a little embarrassing because, back then, not everybody played Pokemon like that. So, and I was already an adult. So, like, it was a little awkward. Some people caught a glimpse of it and they were like, look at this freaking nerd. But I didn't care because, I had my Pokemon in here. And that was the coolest feeling ever. But just being able to walk around. You can take your Pokemon with you. Any Pokemon of your choice, your favorite, whatever you want. You can take it with you and you can walk around with it. Amazing. And not only that, but this is one of the best pedometers in the business. This is scientifically proven. So, Pokemon Company actually knows how to make some stuff that's actually really good when they want to. They just kind of forgot how to do it anymore, I guess. The character sprites, the Pokemon, the music, the ambiance, everything. The Suicune event. This game was truly unbelievable. Being able to walk with your Pokemon. I mean, the last time we saw that happen was Pokemon Yellow, and you could just walk with Pikachu. But with this, you could walk with every single Pokemon. All of them, okay? Even God himself, you could walk around with him. There is just so much to love about this generation, and it is just, I could talk for days about it. With the newer ones, we obviously got a lot of balancing, so this game was a lot better overall. And on top of that, we also got mystery gift events, which got us some of the 3 dogs, the legendary dogs, but in shiny form. So that was really cool. And on top of that, we also got to see a little event when it comes to Giovanni and, the bad guy trainer, the guy with red hair, his name is Silver. They put a lot of time and effort into this game. And that's really what makes it so hard to play some of the newer Pokemon games, because we remember when it felt like the Pokemon Company absolutely cared, when they were trying to make the best game that they could possibly make. We still remember. Whew, my goodness, I just realized I've been talking for 20 minutes. Obviously this is going to be edited down, so it's not going to be that long, but it'll be long. But yeah. Alright guys, that is the end of the video. And as always, do not forget to like this video, share this video, and subscribe to my channel for more awesome content just like this. And a huge thank to Shammy for sponsoring the channel yet again. Thank you so much. You guys, if you can, please support. I mean, she's got a whole series. She's written a bunch of books. It's kind of insane. But yeah, if you guys can help her out, I would greatly appreciate that. And as always, guys, we will see you on the next video. Peace. It's hard to do the peace side by holding the book, but peace. I really hope I don't have to re-edit this video because of Joe Hendry. I mean, I do believe. Now.